His point was very simple, which is, yo, if you want longevity in rap, come up with great bodies of work because guess what? We only remember the people who created great bodies of work. I actually kind of agree with that. If you
Our next topic, albums versus singles. So I believe you told me Ghostface Killer was somebody that recommended to up and coming rappers to focus on albums, creating a body of work that's complete over like trying to make the next hit. So in this day and age, I ask you, in this day and age, which approach do you think provides longevity in hip hop? Making a very good album or making a very good single?
Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I understand both sides of the equation. And while that's not exactly where I want to go with my answer, I'm just letting you know I understand both sides. Now, I really think that question is up to each artist slash rapper to define, right? And you gotta really, I feel like you gotta really ask yourself, what am I doing this for? What's my goal as a rapper? Am I just getting into rap because you know, somebody told me I was decent at rapping, and I said, you know what, man, like that looks like something cool to do. I'm just gonna get lit on social media, and I'm gonna do some antics. I'm gonna come up with some songs, and it just stuck. People just rocked with it. But you're not actually passionate as the next guy who literally lives, breathes, sleeps. He and she will literally die about their talent. Like, if you're somebody like that, I would say, all right, then maybe you don't care about longevity. Maybe you just care about getting money right now. Well, but on the flip side, if you're somebody who is an artist and you're somebody who looks at this like an actual craft, you care about the intricacies of the music. You care about the evolution of your craft and how you can incorporate this element to keep elevating your music. In other words, if you are about the music first, I would encourage you to look at albums and focus on creating albums because you're right. I came up with this topic because the Ghostface interview that he did, and I don't remember what platform he was on, but that's neither here nor there. His point was very simple, which is, yo, if you want longevity in rap, come up with great bodies of work because guess what? We only remember the people who created great bodies of work. I actually kind of agree with that. If you look back 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, the people that we remember were the ones that actually were putting together bodies of work that lasted the test of time. It doesn't mean that everybody else wasn't talented, but Ghostface put together great bodies of work. I may not have been the biggest Ghostface fan, but he was a dude who, in the midst of the 90s, when Jay-Z, Nas, all these dudes was putting together bodies of work, and they were maybe getting the more commercial success, he had a brand and he was establishing himself as a highly respected rapper, a part of the Wu-Tang Clan, who had a fan base of people that respected his bodies of work, his intentionalness with putting together albums. And so I mentioned Jay-Z, I mentioned Nas, I mentioned I'll throw in let's talk about even the game, the rapper The Game from Compton, right? We respect him not only because he is an amazing rapper when you really get down to it, but he also put together the documentary, The Doctor's Advocate. And I'm not about to get into the ranking of these albums, but we remember him and we respect him because he put together great bodies of work. And so I would encourage you to think about all of the artists that we actually truly remember and respect and ask yourself, what kind of artist am I? Who do I really remember from back in the day? And that really will drive your answer. But I'm gonna tell you right now, for me, I respect the artists who really put together albums of bodies of work that will never not be outdated. I know that's not of the times of now and the focus, but those are the ones that truly count, man, when it's all said and done. What do you think though?
I first and foremost, I'm gonna say this. I echo your first the first thing that you said, which was I respect both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Um, 100%. But what people have to remember, for every Tom Brady that was 43 years old, winning Super Bowls and had like 5 or 6 on his resume, there
Mhm.
was a Vince Carter who was primarily known for his dunk contest of 2000 and all the amazing dunks that he was able to do. So it is possible that you can be somebody that is successful for having successful body of works, but then also somebody who has a little hit here and there. Because the term that we need to focus on is okay. So there's two terms. There's you remember somebody because they dropped a lot of classic albums, but then there's a term that people forget. People that drop songs that were dear to your heart. Like, for instance, I think Nelly. Nelly didn't necessarily have amazing bodies of work. He didn't make Thriller. He didn't make To Pimp a Butterfly. But Nelly had some amazing hits. Hot in Here, Country Grammar, EI, that has resonated with people throughout the years. So right now, when we want to do a Super Bowl commercial, more than likely, they're not going to call on Kendrick Lamar to do the Super Bowl commercial. They're going to call on Nelly because he had a hit that resonated with people for years to come. So I see where that came from. Um, a question that I wanted to ask was, and I'll probably answer it myself, but what do the labels think? When they see an artist that they think is good, what do the record labels encourage that artist to do? Make albums or swing for the fences when it comes to hits? Um, the reason I bring that up is because you brought it up in the 90s. I think it's been flip flop. It's been a flip flop. Some people focus on albums. Like back in the day, like let's say the 70s, 80s, Michael Jackson's Thriller was a very good album, but then it also had hits. So he made both. When it got to about the 90s, I noticed that people like Puff Daddy were like, I get that you are a great artist, you're a great rapper, but we need hits, baby. Like we need hits. So I noticed that Puff Daddy was bringing out people, and it looks like he was very intentional with the people making hits. And while I see that through Mace, I see that through Black Rob, I thought Puff Daddy really showed that on the band, where the band will come to the studio and he's like, this song's not good enough. It's not popping. It's not appealing. Like we need appeal. We need hits. And I think he's somebody that should get credit for saying like, yo, I want to primarily unapologetically focus on hits. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Where it comes to today, we live in such a fast-paced world. We live in such a what have you done for me lately world. I mean, if you even on a Friday, right? I'm ratings game music. I rate albums all the time. On a Friday, there's like 6 or 7 albums that come on at the same day. Like there's 100 different singles that come out on the same day. While you may listen to Benny the Butcher's album this week, next week Travis Scott dropped, Little Baby dropped, Khaled dropped. Like it's too much content for us to consume that we don't even have time to acknowledge albums anymore. So I go towards the hit route. I think making a hit in this day and age, in this climate, in this TikTok climate, in this Instagram climate, is a little more valuable because at the end of the day, yes, making a body of work, a classic body of work is great, but is it as great as making something that's dear to people's heart? Yeah, I mean, I think making something that's dear to people's hearts is proven serious worth.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And to be honest with you, I don't really think there's a wrong answer. I think the answer is like, what are your intentions? What are your intentions? That's really my question for anybody. Is like, I'm talking about as a listener, what are your intentions when you're listening to this artist? Do you think that they're amazing? Do you just like this one song from them? Where do you actually feel like they could ascend to? And we have a topic that's going to be, in a few on this episode where we'll get into some artists that, we feel like could have been better throughout their career. But I mean, look, overall, we want to know what y'all think, man. At the end of the day, do you agree with the album approach, the project approach, whatever the hell people are calling it these days, projects, EPs? Do you agree with that approach, or do you go with the single route? Do you want artists to focus on the singles? Which one do you care about most? Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media. Let's move on.